Tell us a little bit about Wesley.
Well, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Me, there's not much about me, I mean? I love music, cars, and dancing, I mean? And playing is now my little toy I play with, so that's it. And not much to tell, you know?
So you said that you grew up in Manchester, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow, interesting. I just want to ask you, how did your environment shape the person you are today?
Well, um, it shaped me in a negative way and in a positive way. And to explain, the Jamaica that I left behind was more so about what you look like. It's more of classism and colorism. And that affect me a lot because growing up, I had buff teeth. So I got bullied a lot. So
Oh, wow.
yeah. So it shaped my world in a negative way. And I grew up in the church, and I've always hear the pastors preach and church members preach, but I never could understand it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Michael Jackson was that person that let me actually understand the teachings of the Bible, not the church. I used to even go to prayer meetings.
Yes.
You know, so Michael Jackson showed me that the part of the Bible that I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I mean, he showed me that that's possible for me. You know what I mean? But growing up a buff teeth kid, and my mom was a struggling single mom,
Oh,
so it shaped my world in a way where I said that I plead out to the Lord that if He ever should take me out of my situation, I mean, I'll never stop. I'll use myself because we grow up in a society where we are ashamed of our past.
that's
So
true.
we rather not speak of
That's
it. You know
true.
what I mean? So I said, I'll use my past as a beacon of hope unto those that believe in the Lord. You know what I mean?
Amen.
So,
Amen.
so
Amen.
that.
That is really, really inspiring. Really inspiring. But you had mentioned that you were bullied for the way you look, especially your teeth. Did those experiences affect your self-esteem and confidence growing up?
Oh yes, it it uh, blast a lot of holes in my self-esteem, and it shattered to nothing. You know what I mean? I went to school and become the class clown because
Wow.
I hated being the joke. So I rather tell the joke. You know what I'm saying? So it messed me up pretty bad. And the sad part about it, we grew up in a society where my mom was there but not there because she had to spend time make sure that we get food to eat and go to school and stuff like that. But for the most part, I had nobody to reassure me
Mm,
confidence. I had nobody to reassure me that this is just a phase. You see
that's
what I'm saying? So my self-esteem went from uh, up here to way down here, and it
mm.
stayed like that for a minute.
Oh
You know what I
Lord.
mean? Yeah, I had to build myself up from ground. I feel like a Michelangelo. You know what I mean? I carve out myself like a statue. You know?
Wow. Wow. Oh Lord. Um, did you ever feel like giving up because of the bullying or the people um telling you you weren't good enough? And
Several times.
who and what help you to get through those tough times?
I've considered I've considered suicide several times. You know what I
Oh,
mean? I believe. you have two people in my life. You have God and you have my mom. My mom was that beacon of hope because throughout my years of high school, I never let her proud. I never make her feel like, yo,
Mhm.
I achieved. You know what I mean? And I've always had her in the back of my mind, like, yo, if I do this, how will it affect her? You know? So I've always think about things that if I do something, it will affect her. Is it gonna affect her in a negative way or a positive way? And I tried to shy away from these things, but I felt like I never wanted to be alive.
Oh wow. 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 But how did you overcame all those emotions? Did you get professional help?
No. How how I overcome those rough times was when I started dancing like Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
So Michael Jackson become a beacon of hope of I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, right?
that's
So
right.
when I started dancing like Michael Jackson, I started be noticing for well, I created the name Dr. West the dancer then.
Mhm.
So I started become noticing for the dances of like Michael Jackson than just being a buff teeth kid. You know, so I stayed in that energy. You know what I mean? At one point I never wanted to even be Wesley. You know what I mean? If you call me Michael Jackson, I'd greatly appreciate it, you know?
Oh my God. Oh my God. So you use Michael Jackson as a way of overcoming
Yes.
everything. But what
Oh
happened
yes.
to the West? Do you still feel that way today?
No, that's why I name myself Dr. West. I rebrand myself because Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson and I'm Wesley. So I had to, you know what I mean, separate myself from that and become the person that I am, the personality that I have. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I've gone through at least almost 20 years of, being bullied and all
Mm.
kind of madness, you know? So I try to separate myself from that now and call myself Dr. West, creating my own legacy, you know?
Amen. So at what moment, was there a specific moment or anything in your life that made you realize that at that time you need to change things up a little bit? What was that moment?
Um, it's not really a moment. It's just that, I've grown mentally to know that I cannot be Michael Jackson. I am just Wesley, and I've had to embrace what makes me me.
That's
Even
right.
though people didn't want to know me, I have to, explore and know me, and I did that.
Yes, yes, yes.
You went mute again.
I'm happy that you mentioned that it's okay to be you. And it's okay for the world to look at you as Wes or Wesley. So walk us through uh, your job at the cargo.
Well, it's where can I start? I'm gonna start with 2014. So 2014, I was
Yes.
working at the car dealership, right?
Okay. Was it in the States or in
Yes, it's
Jamaica?
in the, no, no, in the States. I came here when I'm pretty much about to be 18. So
Okay.
it was here. So I was working at the dealership, and I'm gonna tell you everything. You know what I mean? So I met this girl I was speaking with in Jamaica. She is now my wife in 2013, and so in 2014 now, I offered for her to go get her visa because I didn't want to come to Jamaica. You know what I mean? and it didn't work out. So in order for me to meet her, now I would have to go down. So
Oh,
I was working at the dealership at the time, and it was like 3 months ahead. And I went to my manager and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna take off a couple of days in this time, and is it cool?" And they said, "Yeah, it's all right." So I booked my ticket, and
yes.
literally 3 days before the vacation happened, he told me that I couldn't go. So I said, "What you mean I can't
Mm.
go?" It was like, "Yo, yeah, you can't go," and sorry. So I said, "Are you guys gonna reimburse me my ticket?" They were like, "Nah." So I said, "All right, I'm going." They were like, "Yo, if you go, you're fired." So I said, "Listen, I tell you what, I'll give you one better. I quit." And I walked out. I went to Jamaica, go meet the wife, came back up jobless. Um, that was in July of 2014. In September, funnily, a friend of mine was becoming supervisor for Silver Airways. Anybody that's living in Florida supposed to know Silver Airways because it's popular. It's a popular little airline in Florida. And my friend was turning a supervisor, and he pulled up at my house and said, "Yo, um, he didn't even know that I was jobless." And
Oh,
he was
wow.
like, "Yo, I want you on my team." And, so they get me hired. Well, he got me hired and all of that. So I started my rounds in the aviation world since 2014. Um, I spent 6 months in that company. I went to a ground handler called Swissport,
Yes,
where I had
Swiss.
experience, yeah, where I had the experience of planes like Thomas Cook, Aer
Mm,
Lingus, Spirit. They
mm.
used to have the Spirit at the time, Air Canada. So I had the opportunity, and the crazy thing about my journey now, I've always wanted to be a pilot, but I've always touched on things that I've loved the most. Like the first thing was cars, right? And I never get the support when it comes on to cars. So based on how I grow up, anything that leads a lot of resistance, because when I was becoming a mechanic, I had a lot of resistance from my Jamaican friends, some of them, and I said, I'm a proof to you that I could do it. So I wind up going to school for it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So yeah.
That
So
that is awesome. That is so awesome. So we're gonna take a quick break, just catch your breath a little bit, and we're gonna dive into your whole career as a pilot.
all
And I
right.
feel so inspired knowing that you're a black man in aviation. Oftentimes, it's so hard to find black men in aviation.
It's only 3% of us up
That's
here.
right. Right, that I know for sure because myself, I'm in aviation as well too. So, thank you all for joining. We are here talking to Wesley about his journey. At one point, he wanted to commit suicide. He didn't believe in himself, and now look at him today. He's a pilot, a Jamaican black pilot in the air. So we are so proud of you. So Wesley, go ahead. Tell us about your career.
My career is amazing. It started from a dream in Jamaica, Davidton. It was very tough, and what I could say is God is the greatest. I remember my mom used to do what what they call these living jobs.
Oh,
She
domestic
used
helper. She was a domestic helper.
Yes, yes. So every Sunday I would have to walk from Davidton to Williamsfield to buy Gleaner for him. And at one point of time, I said, like, "Yo, this can't be it."
Mm,
You know what I mean? I need something greater than this because I was sick and tired of walking. And I plead out to the Lord and say, Father, if you ever take me out of this situation, man, I'll forever use myself as a beacon of hope unto those that going through the dark clouds. And it's crazy. I had a friend of mine that got deported. My mom married his cousin, and I didn't know this guy, but once he met me, he was the basketball coach for my high school. And once he met me, he just stick to me like a glue. He called me like him son. And I'll never forget, like 2 months before I migrated to Jamaica, he tell me like, yo, you're going to be something great. You just don't know it yet,
Amen.
but you're gonna be something great. And I never understand it. And I'm like, yeah, that I'm out talk, But my journey started when I saw that God was literally positioning me, because the things that I've gone through in my life, the hoops that I had to jump through, and I'm like, yo, everything is just lining up perfect. It's like
Mm.
nothing, no resistance, no nothing, So I'm like, I've spent 8 years with Southwest, and I'm like, I was gonna do the 10, and I said no. I need to start with my pilot. I need to start doing me. You know what I mean? So I started look about instructors, and I had a friend of mine that helped me also. She's an Asian little girl.
Yes.
Well, not little, but short.
Petite.
But yeah. But as soon as anything that I decided to myself that I want, God always send the right people to guide me along the way. Mechanic was the same thing. I had help, becoming a pilot now, I had help also. And I have to give a shout out to my instructor, James. He's very patient, real cool guy. I can't ask for a better instructor. You know what I mean?
Amen. 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 Shout him out if you're listening, James. Shout out to you. Um,
Oh, yeah.
I realize that you mentioned God. How important was faith in your journey?
It's very important. It's very important because, like I said, I grew up in a predominantly Christian home. And
Yes.
even though, the songwriter said, he may not be there when you want him, but he'll be right there on time. He's an on time God, and he definitely is. Because trust me, where I am today, I couldn't be here without him. So I have to give him all the honor and praises, you know?
So you made mention of James being one of your greatest supporter. Who else? Who else was a part of that supporting team?
Well, there's a lot of family members, there's a lot of friends, so we can't name them individually
Yes.
because, one I go say,
Yes.
but
Yes, I know.
shout out to all the people that support me on this journey, I
Yes.
really appreciate it.
I want to ask you, what are your ultimate goals in life going forward for the future? And what motivation would you have for others who are struggling with their identity, struggling even to settle into a job? Just go ahead and encourage them right now.
Well, my goal is to, when I go back to Jamaica, I hate my mindset of what I've saw when I was living there. I wanted to become a politician, but I realized that there's something sinister about becoming a politician. So I leave that alone. I've connected myself with a lot of foundation over the years. They faded out like old radio, but for me, becoming a pilot, I've always had the mindset of building a foundation that will cater to the young ones that have a dream
Mm.
like me, and I want to see it come to fruition. You know what I mean? Um, motivation for those that is going through the dark clouds right now. You know, my motivation or my, well, um, let me see what I could say. I could tell you to hold on, you know what I mean? Trust in the Lord, trust the process. You know what I mean? You're not missing anything out there. You know what I mean? The Bible is there as a literal blueprint, a structure of how we're supposed to pray and believe.
That's right.
And if you firmly believe in God, you know what I mean, not man, because I've realized that we as a society have moved from believing in God and believe more in our pastors than God Himself. So firmly believe in God and know that everything He said he's not there to harm you, you know what I mean, but to bless you. So everything that you're going through is gearing you up for, you know what I mean, great success.
That's so true. That's so true. I know that being a pilot, you have been to so many places. What's your favorite place to fly to and why?
Honestly, I'm not yet a pilot. I'm a student pilot, but I rarely fly. I rarely travel. Um, that's just me as a person. You know what I mean? I never like going out, and the mere fact that as a kid growing up, I was teased a lot. So that's my hurdle that I'm trying to overcome. I procrastinate when it comes down to traveling. If I'm not traveling to, because I live in Colorado, and if I'm not going to Florida to, chill with the family, eat enough food and stuff like that, that I don't feel the needs to go. Like I went to New York,
Yes,
the famous New York that many Jamaicans crazy over. I'm not impressed.
the big
You know what I
apple.
mean? My brother live in Vegas. I went to Vegas last year, January this time. That's where I spent my anniversary, and I wasn't impressed. In fact, I feel old because I'm like, I'm not you. The nightlife something is not for me anymore, you know. So I'm like, yo, people fancy these things. I'm not for them, you know what I mean? You'd fly all the way to Paris. I'm not knocking anybody that does that, but that's not me. I don't feel like I need to travel places to feel like somebody, you know what I mean?
That's right. But now that your priority has shifted from the nightlife and everything, what brings you joy? What do you settle into these days?
Music brings me joy. Music brings me joy. I love music. That was something that I hold dear to me. As a matter of fact, I was telling a friend earlier that I can sing, but I don't sing because my way of singing is connected to my younger self that used to love sing, and if I do sing, I probably get emotional and I don't want that, so I don't sing. But I've gone as far as taking vocal lessons, you know what I mean? But I used to love singing, man, you know.
Well, continue to sing. And for people tuning in right now and they wish to reach out to you on social media or anything, what's the best place to reach
Well,
you? Or where the
uh,
best place to reach you?
the The best place to reach me is Facebook or Instagram. You know, personal people that I've known personally have my number, but if you really want to reach me out, Facebook or Instagram.
Thank you so much. I just want to just read from Diana. She said, trust God. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. Jillian had mentioned earlier, he was actually asking a question. He said, is this Wesley that flies solo around the world? And Diana answers and says, not yet, Neko, but who knows? Laugh out loud.
Next December, man, December.
December. Um, Another comment, goodness coming straight out of Daviton. So, so, so proud of you. So your people from Daviton saying shout out to you, and that's Donna.
Bless up,
Let's
man. Bless up.
let's scroll back up. So produce of you, Wes. You inspire me. Uh, and I think that's it. Anyone else? Straight out of Daviton. Big up Wesley Francis.
Bless up, bless up.
Ainsley says blessing too. Blessing, 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 blessing. Manchester to the world, Neko said. So you're representing us it wide and far, and you're tearing down barriers, you're breaking barriers,
And
especially go ahead.
it's a very important because coming into America, I've realized the division and the stigma that is attached to
Right.
us as Black people. You know what I
That's
mean? And I'm like, for instance, um, when I told my manager that I thought was cool with me at the time that I was becoming a pilot, she take it like nothing, yeah.
yes.
But while a group of us was there now, she just blurted it out like, "Yo, look who's coming! Look who's going to be a pilot!" Like she said it in a way.
You're muted.
Yeah, she said it in a way that like it was impossible, and I'm like, "Yo, um, based on the history that was given, according to now, it's Black History Month. My ancestors, our ancestors are from slaves, but I went and I did the research for myself, and we weren't always slaves.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So I chose to stay with the fact that I wasn't my ancestors weren't asleep all the time of their life. You know what I mean? And actually, after slavery, we developed this town called Black Wall Street. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of great things that we have done, and most of the inventions was our thing. It was a black thing. You know what I mean? So that's why when this previous president went ahead and talked about he pardoning Marcus Garvey and Jamaicans take it up, I was very displeased. I was hurt about it because I'm like, when Marcus Garvey was charged for fraud, according to them, Black people didn't have rights. So it's easy for them to say that he did this, but we didn't have rights. So how are you going to pardon somebody that never could have defended himself the right way? You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. That's right. Point really taken. Valid points here. Um, we are so, 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 so proud of you, Wesley, and continue to soar to higher heights in your career. And we're here cheering you on. So, for that, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being part of Motivational Mondays. And all the best. And we'll
Thank you,
see
man.
you next. You're most welcome. Is there anything else that you would love to share?
I tried this several times with many people that is Facebook friendly now. They were on YouTube at the time, and I would call in, and I realized that they're only pushing an agenda, you know. So I love the settings where we are as a people right now. You know,
Yes.
we're trying, and with these kind of teachings, will actually help to spin the youths them in the right direction. You know what I mean? Because in the little CM community where I'm from, Davidton, there's a lot of young men that died. You know what I mean? Because they chose a life that, you know, now nothing to do with them. You know?
Yes.
So I love this, and I really want to be a part of this thing here because, like I said, I'm here to be a beacon of hope unto those that believe in God, you know?
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And continue to be a role model for the young ones coming up. And I'm sure that they're going to be motivated and inspired by your story. So thank you for sharing and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to walk us through the many, many challenges that you have encountered. So have a great night. Thank you so much, Wesley. Anyone else has any question for well done, Wes? You inspire me, Diana says. Also, there was another one. Um, God had the final word. No bother watch, no face, me brother. That's Megan said that. So go out
Res-
there and represent. No watch, no
Respect,
fears.
respect.
Veronica, I guess she's your sister. Francis, blessings,
No,
blessings.
that's my father's wife. I got to
Oh,
tell you this. I got to tell you this. Um, so I got arrested in 2014,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
And I'm in the jail cell, and I'm like, yo, how did I got here? Like, what's going on with me? And you know, there's like a little whisper. It's so surreal. A little whisper was like, yo, you need to forgive your father. You know what I'm saying? Because I was angry with my father for years. It's in fact, I carry his whole name. And that's why I kind of split my name up. Cause my mom used to say I'm just like my father. So my
Yes.
my father name is James Wesley Francis, and I'm Wesley James
Yes.
Francis, right? So I'm like, to separate the two, I said my name is Wes. You
Oh,
know what I mean? So I was angry with him for years because I'm like, yo, if he was there, then you'd have teach me how to fight, you'd have teach me how to have confidence within himself, all of that. So I'm in that jail cell, and the little thought come to me, forgive your father, forgive your father.
that's right.
And I came out of that jail cell, and I spent the last 2 months of my time searching for this man. And me finally, me finally find him. So after finding him now, I realized that, he himself had issues trying to be a man too because he never really raised by his father.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So I'm like, how am I going to hold somebody accountable that don't know how to be a father also?
that's
You know
that's
what I mean?
that's right.
So
That's right.
so I'm like, I let it go. And after I let it go, it's like a veil lift up from the eye and all that
Mm.
craziness that I used to do. You know what I mean? So that Veronica that you're seeing, that's his wife.
Oh, okay. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Jillian has a question. He says, Wesley, are you flying commercial? Meaning, I guess not yet, but in the future, are you looking to
Yes,
go commercial or private?
of course, man. The dream is to actually land in Jamaica on the runway. That's the
Oh,
dream.
wow. Oh, wow. And what would be your preferred airline right now?
My preferred airline is the one that I've spent 8 years with is Southwest Airline. That's my
Southwest.
preferred.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
perfect. Right. Jillian says, I'm glad you overcome these challenges. Great, he said.
Thank you.
Uh, Veronica says, I'm so happy for you, my son. God bless you.
Respect, mom. Respect.
And also, Diana says, you should write a book, my friend. Indeed, you should.
Man,
You should.
man. I'll tell you a story. When I just moved to Colorado, I moved into a guy's house.
Mhm.
Um, and he was uh, living in California and he was living the big life. But he has connection. And I told him about my story of what I wanted to do. I don't know if he probably used the scripts that we built together and probably publish a book long time, but that was always the intention.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Awesome,
Yep.
awesome. So let us know when you do publish your book. Come back to Motivation on Mondays, and let's see. We're all gonna support you. So you do have prospective buyers right now. So
Oh,
that's a good start.
yeah, man. About it's crazy because I wanted to start with the podcast, but because of the timing,
Yes,
like when I officially become a pilot, then I definitely have time on my hand to do that. You know what I mean? But like I wanted to be I have a podcast where I, start nothing but positive vibes and energy out there. You know what I mean?
that's
Because
right.
a lot of us need that. And the thing that I want to say that is very taboo in Jamaica is this. We don't really look at mental health as an importance. I mean, we shun those kind of topic,
That's
but
true.
it's real. It's real. And for anybody that is going through depression, depression is something that we formulate this image in our mind and say that nobody cares and nobody understands. Well, I've been there. Just like Michael Jackson, I'm sensitive to those pain and topic. You know what I mean? But I want to tell you guys that, listen, there is nothing wrong with you. It's okay to feel different. It's okay to go through anything that you're going through.
That's right.
As long as God allow it, then it's something that is going to happen to be for the greater good later on in life. You know what I mean?
Yes,
The best things in life aren't for free.
that's
And
right.
where I stand, I never got the teachings. I know right from wrong, but I never had nobody firm behind me to say, hey, don't do this, don't do that. They'll say it, but they say it in the terms of, it's whatever. You know what I mean? But I never had a firm, apart from my mom, I never had a firm believer that believed in me. Nobody believed in me, no one. You know what I mean? I had to believe in myself. But you know who else never forget or believe in me? God. No
Amen.
matter what you man do to me, him always see me through. You see me, I say, because of him, I'm right here right now because he
Amen.
sent Michael Jackson in my life that to mirror
That's
him. You see me,
right.
because
That's right.
him saying create man in an image, right? So he sent Michael Jackson in my life to show that he was real and he exists and he only show up when you believe in him.
That's right. That's right. And it's so important to do self encouragement, to encourage yourself. Don't really wait on others to, give their approval that you're doing well, but for you to recognize yourself that you're doing well, and it's okay to give yourself grace. Also, there's another question. Megan said, I noticed that you have a special laughter when it comes to your stepmother. Why is that so?
Well, special laughter. I don't really know her like that, you know what I'm saying? But I know her, and you know, to be honest, her kids, which is my brothers and sister, they stand all because it's nine of us. You know what I mean? I grew up to know four, which is from my mom's side, and
Yes.
thanks to God, I know nine of us. It's nine of us, and based on my other siblings, our father never really was a part of their life also. So
Yes.
the last two kids that he had, they spent more with him than all of us did. And honestly, I appreciate that. You know what I mean?
That's
Like I told my father, you don't have to prove anything to me and you don't have to give me anything. As long as those little ones get it, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying?
that's
I
right.
can't I can't go and do and undone what already, you know what I mean, happened. So It's all good, man. I love her the same. You know, she's my mom. Man. You know what I mean? So I love her the same.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for being here. And until next time. But before I go, I just want to go back to a comment. Um, there was a comment from, bear with me a little bit, Shante. Shante, if you're still here, she said, you were in my hometown. Daughter called me super, super excited. Tell me she has a surprise for me. Laugh out loud, cover my eyes, and all to Uno. Okay, so I'm gonna give you, and she said you signed her book. Okay, so today I had the privilege of being at my former primary school. And after my speech and everything, my presentation, and I went to the different classes just to see what they're like because I haven't been back in years, like over two decades or more. And this little girl walked up to me and she said, Miss, can you sign my book for me, please? So I thought it was a Bible. So I opened it. I said, is this a Bible? She said, no, it's my, she said, diary. So I said, okay. And she said, you know that my mom listened to you all the time and I want to surprise my mom. If you could only sign my book. And that's the story. I signed her book today. And she said, I'm going to bring this home to my mom. And I asked her, what's her name? And she said to put her name there as well. So it feels good to know that we are impacting others as we go along, and you never know who is really watching us. So Wes, just like you're impacting a lot of people here on this live, and those who will be watching will be inspired and motivated to be like you and want to be like you. So thank you so much for sharing your story. And until
God bless you,
then,
my dear.
yes, you're most welcome. And until then, thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week, Monday, same place, same time. Bye. Have a great one.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Take it
Thank
easy.
you. Thank you.
All right.